Right, great. Mhairi.
To start with, obviously before the referendum there was the vow that was made in the last week that the Prime Minister signed up to, and in the spirit of that Scotland was told that it would get the powers as close to federalism as possible. I think it's also fair to say that in the general election the Conservative manifesto was rejected in Scotland. So with that in mind, and given that some of the welfare reforms that are coming through just now are actually rejected by all the main political leaders in Scotland, including the Scottish Conservative leader, is there not then an argument to suggest that all of welfare should be devolved to Scotland, and if not, why?
Well, I think Mr Black will know that the agreement that was made at the time post the referendum was that we would stick by the Smith Commission recommendations. Those recommendations said that we should devolve further powers to Scotland in this field to control the disability benefit, which is PIP, and the employment benefits, and in that space all other employment programmes, but in this particular case the work programme. Those were the two that were made. It's already, the Scottish Government already has the power, and this will be stressed again, I think, in the process of this devolution. Should the Scottish Government wish to make extra additional payments themselves, they can do that. And there was also a change made to the control over discretionary housing payments as well, additional measures that will be passed across the Smith. These are quite substantial changes and devolved powers that will go to Scotland to make already changes far beyond anything that they have at the moment. So I guess the answer to this is, if it is perceived by a Scottish Government they would wish to make more payments for which they would then raise the money, that power exists already, and they are capable of doing it at the moment, and will be able to do that separate to our existing UK-wide benefit system.
But with that in mind, 85% of welfare still remains reserved, and 70% of power over taxation remains reserved. So, I mean, that's not as close to federalism.
Well, I guess we're not going to agree about this, but all I'm saying is that we were asked to implement Smith, and what we will do, and have done, I believe, and this will be the outcome of this, and we'll wait for Lord Smith to make his own statement about this, but I believe that what we will have delivered is Smith. We've made alterations and changes in the last few months to improve that position. I believe we've been reasonably flexible in all of this. As I say, I keep coming back to the simple point. You know, any comment to the Scottish Government is they have already and will have significant powers. The question is, you know, do they want to use them, and when do they want to take them on board? And my suggestion to them is that you know, if there is something you disagree with in terms of the national benefit system, they still have the capability, if they wish, to create a parallel process themselves if they wish it.
Well, following on from that, with the powers that you're talking about, is there an assurance that in the event that the Scottish Government feels a need to use these powers to top up any benefits, or if the Scottish Government is even able to realistically top up these benefits, is there an assurance that that money will actually lead to additional income for the individual, or can it be taken off through universal credit in some other way? You know, is it just filling a gap? Will then money be taken out of their pocket?
Well, as I said, it's a matter for the Scottish Government as to what they do with regards to any payments they want to make, separate to the existing benefit system.
Right, so just to clarify, if the Scottish Government uses the powers to top up any benefits, that will lead to additional income for the recipient, and it won't be taken off in any other manner? Well,
I say that's a matter for the Scottish Government to take a view about themselves. I'm not going to involve myself in what the Scottish Government decides to do. That's what devolution is about. They can make that decision themselves. They've all, actually, the existing powers are there for them to do that. But it's a decision they have to take. We have to run the UK-wide benefit system so that people moving, you know, across the different boundaries of the United Kingdom can be sure, at least at the base welfare system that they have, is the same one wherever they go.
But are you saying, Secretary, say, given Scotland has the power to put to raise tax itself, if they wish to make good the proposed cuts in tax credits, could they actually use their tax raising powers to raise the money to actually negate the cuts in tax credits?
Well, it's up to, as I understand it, that is the case. What I'm simply saying is what will not. We've already devolved, as I say, significant powers. You know, the disability benefit, the employment programmes are all devolved. Will be devolved to Scotland. Elements around discretionary housing payments, etc., will be changed. It's quite a dramatic amount, 2.7 billion. Beyond that, the settlement is all about, you know, the ability of the Scottish Government to raise revenue, to make decisions beyond that to do what they like. One of the areas that they can, of course, do, and it always is the existing case, but it will be restated, is that should they wish to set up some other payment beyond the UK-wide payment system in terms of support through benefits, then they are quite capable of doing that, but that money will have to be raised in Scotland, and that's the principal position.
Robert?
Maybe I can just add something else. So I think the question you're asking is actually, well, if more cash goes into somebody and it would be automatically taken account of in the UK system and thus UK costs would go down, you know, what would happen? Well, I think the answer to that question is the Scottish needs to make a proposal what they would like to do. The UK system is capable of deciding which things are or are not taken account of. And so I think the ball is in the Scottish Government to make a proposal. I mean, I understand the point you're making.
But the principal point, I think, is that it's first of all for the Scottish Government to decide what they want to do, and then they can tell us what they want to do, and we can discuss that with them. But I think the main basic point here is that if they want to make a change in Scotland, then they raise the money themselves. It won't be part of the UK benefit system. That's the main point I'm making.
No, but tomorrow on the state we've got a debate on the changes in tax credits, and the SNP have put an amendment down saying that the cut shouldn't take place. Are you saying that given they've got tax-raising powers, that they could, if they wish to, use those powers to ensure that the tax credit cuts didn't operate in Scotland?
My understanding of what we will be providing under Smith, which actually exists already here anyway, but it's a restatement, is that providing they raise the revenue, it is wholly within the power of the Scottish Government to add additional payments after the event. That is to say, after our UK-wide benefit system operates, they can decide what they would like to do, should they wish to do something additional to that, and they would have to raise that money themselves. It would not be money that would fall on the shoulders of English, Welsh or Northern Irish.
One last point, Mhairi.
But not, in order to do that, they would have to, or the Scottish Government would then have to come to yourselves or the DWP to talk it out.
Well, the Scottish Government wouldn't have to come to us at any stage in that process.
But
they may wish
what Robert was talking about.
Yeah, no, the point I'm going to make is they don't have to come to us. Okay, this power exists. They don't have to even communicate with them if they want to. But if the Scottish Government wanted to talk to us about it, then we'd be happy to talk to them about it. But my point is, this power and this authority lies with the Scottish Government. So I guess in the process of this, the question is, what will you do about taxation?